Hey guys, welcome to Ready Up. My name is Joshua Davis, and I'm your host. I was gonna throw in some weird terms there. I skipped it. Anyways, I'm joined by Mr. Hugh Norfolk. How's it going?
How's it going?
We did this yesterday.
Back at you, baby.
The ball's in my court now. So ignoring that, Hugh, you're a game designer here at ArenaNet.
Yep, that's correct.
And you worked on
Stronghold.
Awesome. So that works out really well because we're going to be talking about Stronghold today, so I'm glad that you randomly happened to be here.
That's true.
So yeah, we've got a lot of really cool stuff to show you guys today. We're really excited to finally be able to talk about Stronghold. It's been, being able to not talk about it for so long, it really hurt us on the inside. But today we were going to give you the full view of Stronghold. We'll be taking you guys through a pretty in-depth here. We'll kind of give the high-level overview when we go in. I know you guys probably read the blogs, you guys read the interviews, so you probably know a bit about it, but we just want to make sure we're covering all our bases.
That's right.
Before we jump into that, just a quick shout-out to a couple teams from last weekend who won the World Tournament Series Invitational Qualifiers for NA and EU. Shout out to Hugh for helping me out during the NA cast, obviously.
No problem.
He brought me breakfast, which is the best thing you can do. So anyways, in NA, it was the Absurd and Dankening will be going to Boston, and in EU, it was Orange Logo, who came back from that losers bracket and came back in the double limb and is able to beat TCG out 4 games in a row.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So guys, I know you're here for Stronghold.
Yeah.
They're like, please shut up, Josh. So, Hugh, what do you say we jump into the little cinematic? The guy who made this is really just
amazing.
So talented.
So talented. It almost looked professional, but then I realized, man, this was made by somebody else.
So, Mr. Mark, if you could go ahead and cue up the fly-through video for us.
Yes.
So, guys, again, today we're talking about Stronghold. This is a quick fly-through of that map. Mr. Hugh, what is the objective of Stronghold?
Objective is actually really simple for Stronghold. It's kill the enemy lord. If you kill the enemy lord, you win. You defend your lord because that's the objective of the enemy team. So defend your lord, kill their lord, you win the game.
That's pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
That's it. That's all there's to it, right? There's nothing in between you and those keeps. All right.
Just bum rush to the middle, bum rush to the lord and win.
So it turns out there's actually a lot of stuff that we have to go between between you when you come out of your base and you try to trudge across the map, try to get to that spawn or to get to the enemy keep. There's kind of a couple things in there between you.
Yep.
So let's start talking about the, as you call it, the lifeblood of Stronghold.
Yes.
Let's talk about supply.
Yes. Supply, actually what happens when you first spawn on Stronghold, and I'll show this when we get to the actual gameplay, is you actually spawn with 1 supply. And it gives your team kind of an open gamut to spend that supply on either a few things. One is a door breaker, which, by its name, helps break through the gates that are defending the Lord. So there's one gate, the outer gate, which allows you to get into the enemy base, and there's another gate, which we're kind of seeing right now on the fly-through, which is the Lord gate. You kill that, and then you can go assault the Lord. And then the other NPC that you can spawn is Archer. And the Archer...
Here's the supply depot, by the way.
Yeah,
it's gone.
It's
gone now.
Gone now.
That's it.
But in the center...
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up, we're done.
We're going home.
But yeah, you'll see you can spawn Archers, and the Archers are... Their goal, their purpose is to do slight bit of damage to people who are trying to assault the lane, and to also clear out defensive guard NPCs. So you kind of see some guards right there in front of that gate. Those guards will destroy door breakers. They one-shot them straight up.
So I know the video's going to end abruptly here right now, and we're going to jump right into basically some gameplay footage of us walking around the map, and we're going to go through, kind of start to finish, how the whole thing works. So I guess that's probably the easiest way for this to do it. So let's go ahead and jump into game real quick here, and we'll kind of go through it step by step. So first off the bat, I notice you're running, is that a shoutbow spec?
That is shoutbow. It is definitely different.
You're an evil person.
That is different from my handbow that I usually run. But yes, we're doing that. So you start off here on the blue team, like I'm in the pub, just having a good time, relaxing. Oh, we're getting assaulted.
That's where I would be.
It's true.
If I was in Syria, I'd be hanging out. I wouldn't even leave spawn.
That's true. I'm drinking water there. But you see,
guys, 4v5 Grouch drinking in the beer in the pub.
So as soon as I spawn, though, you see I have this little barrel above my head. That's to let me know I have 1 supply. It's a blue icon, which means I'm on the blue team, and there's a Phantom hub. I'm right here. You can kind of see that I'm looking at what do I want to spawn, door breakers or archers. So I'm going to go ahead and spawn the door breaker. So I got my door breaker.
So we talked about the door breakers have the distinct purpose of going across the map and trying to take out the enemy door, right?
Yeah.
So spawning the archers at the beginning of the map, you might want to do it if you want to take out the NPCs, but really, if the main objective here is getting into the enemy keep, you kind of need those door breakers to bring that door down.
Yes, exactly. And you see right here, I kind of open the map up to give you a quick overview of the map as we go here. So that's the enemy trap right there, which is going to be able to clear out NPCs as well as kind of protect an overall map presence. So we got the gate, we got a couple of trebuchets. The metal there, you can kind of see the 2 icons. That's the where you get supply. Hero spawns over there on the sides.
We're going to talk about those in a bit.
That's true.
There's a lot of info, guys.
I'm going a little fast.
You talk faster.
So I'm going to go ahead and try to protect this door breaker, but you can see that he's going to just get immediately one shot by those archers.
We believe we call it Shrek'd.
He got Shrek'd. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to clear these guys out really quickly. I think I'm going to quickly just slash them.
And then you're gonna sit there and whack on them?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh man, I'm so good.
Nerf.
I'm so good. Let me do this again. Boom! Instantly one shot. So you can see now that I've cleared them out, they lose their markers on the map, as well as if I spawn door breakers, now they just have a clear run straight there. Now, if somebody was defending this, then they could kill them. Obviously.
So those guys are kind of like turrets, essentially. Like
Yeah.
they stand there, they do a lot of damage to NPCs, but not so much to players.
Exactly. So over here in the middle, you see the 2 supply depots here, the left one and the right one. So if I go over and channel this quick. Now, you can only interrupt me through CC, not through damage. So I'm going to quickly get this. You'll see I'm going to go kind of quick zoom in here to show you what the barrel looks like. So there's the barrel right there. So I have one, and you can see a phantom barrel, yeah, to say that I can get one more. So I'm going to go to the other supply depot here and grab a second supply. It doesn't lock any of my skills. It's not like a bundle that you would think that like, oh, I can't use my weapon skills anymore. It's just essentially like almost like a little buff. So now I can take this, run back to my barracks, and I can decide, okay, what do I want to spawn again? So I'm going back here really quick.
What's it going to be?
You know what? Let's go ahead and do one of each. Let's start with an archer, as if I was spawning it to clear out the NPC wave, the NPC guards. And then I'm going to kind of back that up with a door breaker, so that way he kind of stays a little behind. I'm going to quickly run over here.
Now, one thing we should note about these NPCs, so we saw that guard just completely destroy the NPCs, right?
Yeah.
But the NPCs actually don't have that much HP.
Nah.
Do you remember off the top of your head how much that is?
It's like 15,000, 17,000 HP, not
so
much
they,
at all.
they actually go down pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And like we said, the door breaker actually doesn't do any damage to players. He's just going to kind of path all the way to that door. He's just not going to care about you.
One objective.
He's going to run right into that door and just put those bombs down. So very singular purpose. They're not really there to take out players. The archers will aggro players, right?
Yes.
But they don't do nearly as much damage.
No, very little. The main goal of them is to kill and guard NPCs. And you can see I can't do damage to this. I'm trying to use my skills here. I can't do any damage to that. You see the archer can do damage, but it's very little. Like you don't even see really the life of that door. At the top there, the UI, you see we're attacking the red base. All of a sudden you see a big chunk kind of go off there. Mm-hmm. It was like 10% right off the bat right there. And that's from the door breaker. You see he's kind of throwing the bombs, throwing them, chucking them. Boom, big chunks falling off.
So one thing that's cool we should mention about this is, so you might be thinking about counterplaying, what you can do against these NPCs. Yeah. So right now you just see he's whacking away on the door here, but those guys are fully CCable.
Yeah.
You can kill them, which is obviously the best option, right?
Yes, yes.
They're also, right now, you can blind them.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of things you can do to just try to shut those door breakers down. So it's not like you just fire these door breakers off and expect them to run across the map and just obliterate these doors.
Yep.
You've got to escort them. The reason you're having such an easy time is because
there's no one here.
There's literally no one on the map.
It's just me being a boss. So you're going to see here, these guys are melee, they're going to go out here, and they cleave, so they'll just immediately take them out in one hit. Now you see here, the archer himself, he doesn't die in one hit, because he's made to take out these guys. So if you see here, every shot he does like 25% of this guy's health. So if you have a couple of archers running down the lane, they can clear out a pretty good amount of these guys just by themselves. Again, if a player gets involved, you'll see that they'll just easily take out those archers. They can't be there by themselves if there's an actual player.
I mean, essentially, the NPCs kind of play like a downplayed role in the map, right? Like, they serve a purpose, and that's to push across the map and help you progress towards, but really when it comes down to the combat and actually engaging players and whatnot, like, the focus is going to be 100% on those players and not so much on the NPCs here.
They have a role.
Now, there will be a couple, I mean, when we come to heroes, like, we'll get to that in a little bit here.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about how these NPCs might play a larger role in those fights, but again, still playing like a secondary role to the actual the players themselves.
The heroes, when we get to those, quick overview, they empower players, but they do not replace players in any way. So I'm just clearing out the last bit of guys over here, so you can see they didn't actually aggro my archer here, so he's going to do a little bit of damage to the gate while I kind of clear these guys out really quick. And I feel like, look how skillful I am all by myself. Double pin down?
You're really good at this game.
Oh my God. Yeah,
I'm so impressed. I'm so glad that I work with you.
Thank you.
I'm just feeling so appreciative right now.
And I've had a lot of help from some of the big wigs in the community to help me get better, but I really feel at this point I'm kind of just taking over.
So one thing to note is those NPCs, they get a little bit stronger as you progress into the base there.
Yes, yeah, the defensive NPCs get stronger, so it takes a little bit more time as you get further. They turn from just regular to kind of like almost like veterans, if anyone, from PvE land. It's like that. They get a little stronger, but it's not like you can't soul them. They're not meant to be a tough fight for a player. They're meant to lock out defensive NPCs or NPC spawned NPCs. like the door breakers.
Now, one thing, so we got the heroes coming up right now, and I guess we'll try to. I want to talk about the lanes a little bit when we get to the next part here.
Yeah.
So, Hugh, I see this beam of light here. What exactly are we doing right now?
So right now I'm getting a hero. This spawns, and there's kind of like an event on the top right you can see. It's allowing me a 10-second channel. It's like saying, hey, this is like a buff from Temple. It's like, hey, this is a big deal. So we give you like a little 30-second window and say, hey, this is happening. This is where the hero is going to spawn. We have a little marker on the minimap. We ping the map a little bit, and it says, hey, once you get here, 10-second channel, and then you get a hero.
Okay, now, as we're escorting in here, I see you've got some buffs that you're putting on the NPC here, and he's really booking it down the lane right now.
Yeah, because I gave him swiftness because I'm supporting him, trying to get him to the door as quick as possible. But what you'll see here is he's giving me a buff as well, which is Hero's Presence. This gives me 50% damage reduction and 50% condy duration reduction.
Now, only within the radius of the NPC, though. You can kind of see it pulsing right now,
Yes.
so if you're within that range, you get the buff applied to you, and you'll have that, but if you leave that radius, you're going to lose it.
You're going to lose it. And he doesn't fight anybody. As you can see, he's just barely because there's no enemies, but he doesn't fight anybody till he gets stopped by an objective.
So even if you engage him in the roads, he'll
just keep
he'll
right on
ignore
the
you. He's got better things to do. You're a small fry. He's going to book it to this door. Now, once he gets to the door, though,
He'll start fighting.
okay, but still, he doesn't do a lot of damage to players.
No, again, he's mainly for when he gets in the Lord room. That's when he'll use his big thing. So
And
you'll
we'll
see,
get there.
Yeah, we'll get
get
there.
there.
So you see he's kind of doing damage to gates. He does a decent damage, like 1-2% a swing. Not as optimal as a door breaker, but he's not useless when he
And
gets there.
so he's a different hero than the one for the red team, right?
Yes, and
So-
we'll get to that guy in a second. So
Yeah.
I killed the door here just to kind of speed this up so we don't have to wait. But this is where I'm going to try to take aggro as much as possible to let him get off his super skill, which does 25% of damage to everybody in this room, as well as knocks him down. So you see he's kind of channeling, boom, the Lord took 25% just like that. That can be stopped. You can kill him, you can CC him out of it, that's totally doable. But instead, I was able to take some aggro, get some of that CC off of him so he could get that out. And that right now he's supporting me, giving me a bunch of damage reduction and condy duration reduction. So I'm just able to sit there and kind of tank this damage pretty freely. Like this only did like 3,000 damage. That's not a big deal. You know, I'm able to get there. I got my shouts heal, all that stuff. But as soon as he goes down, look at the damage. Like it just starts stacking up even real hard. This is a tough fight for a single player. You really need support from a team here. I'm going to try to get out of here.
You got lucky,
I'm going to try to
essentially.
get out of here as quick as I can. Let my regen take me up. But we also, looks like we have the other hero spawn is on the map on the opposite side. So it's random where it spawns, and then it switches which the next side. So it spawned on the blue side.
And there's kind of there's a warning in advance, right?
Yeah, 30 seconds. It gives you a 30-second warning.
So it doesn't just pop up and you have no chance to react. You've got a
No.
lot of time where you can run across the map and be in position. And so something we talk about a lot is that there's actually a lot of different things to do on this map.
Yeah.
So Conquest is very focused. Like you know what you're supposed to do, right? You stand in points, you collect points, right? You want to keep those caps as much as possible. But there's so many different avenues that you can do on this map. So many different things you can do. You can run supply, just spawn NPCs, progress further into the base here. You can focus on getting these heroes. You can shut down supply. You can play defense. You can play offense. You can play a support role with these NPCs, as we're calling a shepherd role.
Yeah, the shepherd role, which is a lot of, it's kind of a role that you don't see too much in Conquest nowadays, but it's super important. Like we have one of our internal players, internal artists, Tirza runs the staff guardian, and runs Sanctuary. Oh my goodness! When she puts that on the channel to the hero, she drops that on there. She stands in it, puts a bunch of prod on. You can't smack her out of it. You can't shoot her out of it, and she just can sit there and almost get a free channel for that. And it's like, man, it's really tough. So I'm gonna go over here to blue base so you can kind of see over here, Lord Jaska.
Who was the other hero? What was his name?
It's somebody, I don't know. I just kind of picked a random name. It was like Davis or something. Lord.
If you hate my face and you want to bash my face quite often, you will be able to eventually.
Red Lord. If you ever want to fight Josh, now is the time.
Yeah, all those times when we wiping you guys.
Now you can give him back.
My ego. It should alert me. Like,
yes.
You've wiped.
Oh, and you can see the other hero got there and he took another 50% off right there.
So real quick, I just want to talk about that UI at the top here if we can.
Yeah.
So you guys notice kind of new hotness.
Yeah.
Right? So this is a little bit different from the standard Conquest UI that you guys are probably pretty used to. So Hugh, it looks like this UI kind of goes from the outsides in. Can you kind of explain what's going on
here?
here?
So like you see on the blue team, because no one was ever fighting the blue side, that door is at 100% life. And then the next door would be the Lord door. And the next one would be the actual Lord's health.
Okay.
So it kind of lets you know what objectives you need to get. So I'm actually going to, real quick while we talk about this, I'm going to go get the red hero so you can kind of see what that guy looks like. He's got a big old Norn, pirate with a cannon on his back.
The map is themed.
Yes.
So
we have pirates on one side and knights on the other.
Okay, so the pirates are trying to invade Lord Davis's army.
Yep.
They're going ham on the knights here.
And the knights are trying to keep them out and get them out of their town.
And I think I'm actually going to lose this map.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I kill you. That's definitely a necessity here. So I'm going to sit over here, and you're going to see, I'm just going to try to fight these and kind of show you, as the hero will just totally bypass these guys until he gets to his objective, and then he'll kind of help me out. He'll kind of be swinging on to these guys, also help me get through this gate. So being old, boom, knock those guys back. Davis really picked his army well.
Yeah, I am good at picking teams.
Yeah.
I'm undefeated in dodgeball.
Yeah, I can see that. So, this guy's going to start bashing in the gate over there, but he's going to be like, you know what, Hugh, I can see you need a little bit of help. Come on, please help me. Help. Yeah, he got my back. He's got my back. Boom. Takes out that person, and then go right back. Yeah, it goes right back to the door. But, so you can see these heroes, when they get there, they will fight, and they'll kind of take down gates and whatnot. But the biggest thing, I'm going to kill that gate real quick. And I think at this point, I probably want to just go switch back over to the blue side and show you guys what's different about the Lord fight itself.
Yeah, so it's not like, because everyone's really used to fighting on faux fire, right? Like you go in, you down the Lord, and then it's pretty much GG, right?
Yeah, it's just, as soon as you kill him, he's dead, and that's it.
It's like you said, it's a bit different here.
Now
we're going to use a little shenanigans here.
Little
look away,
here.
guys. Don't look at this.
Oh, no. Okay, whoa, wow, I'm fast.
Yeah, that's a new skill.
No. Oh, God, no. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to fight this guy. I'm going to try to knock him down, and then...
Listen, pepperonis.
Yeah. But the biggest thing we're going to talk about, he's got a downstate.
Yep.
He's got the downstate.
So this actually opens up a lot of different, opens up a lot of play, right?
Yes.
So before, like we mentioned before, you can heal your Lord on faux fire. You could, try to keep him alive as much as possible.
But as soon as he went down, as soon as he got low enough, it was kind of hard.
It was done. You're just completely done there. But now,
so I'm gonna try to stomp him real quick.
This is amazing.
Okay. I'm gonna. I rallied. I rallied.
Cheat.
Sure. Okay. I'm gonna go back in. I got this.
This is really what it feels like to play with Hugh.
Please.
Constantly.
Okay. You know what? That NPC is gonna have to die. I'm gonna go kill him real quick because he's.
You're really good at this game.
Ooh,
wow.
Rally.
You should probably cheat again.
Rally. No, rally. Man, mind you,
nice.
you don't rally.
Well done.
You don't rally
well
from
done.
anything in this room. Might I add?
Warriors
you don't rally from NPCs.
Warriors are gonna be really good.
Oh, look at that stuff! I am so good at this game.
So, anyways, like we were saying, I believe the video is gonna end here, so let's just come back to us here.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of questions and stuff that we want to talk about on the map here. We wanted to give you guys that first run through.
Yeah.
Kind of get a taste of the map. You should have seen every mechanic that's in the map, pretty much everything you could think about.
Yes.
But there's a lot of other stuff that really, like, the great thing about PvP is that players create the content essentially, right? And so the ways that it's played has changed. I mean, ever since we started playing it, all on its own, it's just changed a ton. So we'll kind of dive into that here in a couple of minutes. But what I wanted to mention is that, so when the Lord goes down, all those utilities that you've been wanting to use, you've got your Spirit of Nature, you've got your War Banner, all those things are going to work on the Lord when he goes into downstate.
Yep.
So there's going to be a lot of really defensive plays. Like the role of support, I think, will come back at least in some fashion.
Yeah.
It depends on how the meta goes. Like we've done a lot of internal testing, and
it's up to you guys.
Me and Hugh, we played this morning.
Yeah, we did.
And we dunked the other team. So like we've done a lot of our own play testing internally, but I think it's really going to come down to how the players start experiencing it, because they're going to try to find the most optimal strategy, right?
Yeah, I think one of the fun things about it was that opening gambit, how it plays out. We've seen teams internally go 5 offense and completely ignore defense completely, and it just becomes almost a slight base race, right? Or you see like a 3-2 split or a 1-2 split or something like that, and someone's running supplies, so you have like a 2-1-1. And it's just however your team wants to play, right?
So one thing I want to talk about on that point then, you mentioned how there's different strategies, right?
Yeah.
But you're thinking like, okay, well, if the only point, or the only way you can get a win is by killing the enemy Lord, like what do you do if it times out, all those kind of situations.
Or is there even time?
Yeah, so let's talk about score first.
Yes. So we did see, the video there did show some score. So the biggest thing is we want to still preserve that feeling of, you can play PvP in Guild Wars 2 and you're not investing some weird amount of time that can be anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes to 40 minutes to whatever. So we want to preserve time so players can have those quick, intense battles over a shorter period of time. So we did add score. So killing players gives score. Getting heroes, kind of opening up the map, gives score. Killing gates gives score. Killing defensive NPCs gives score. Spawned NPCs do not give score. And then obviously killing the Lord wins the game.
So the one situation I wanted to bring up is when So there was a team that we fought against, or that me and Hugh didn't fight against.
Yeah.
We were off doing our own business, you know, and we heard a rumor that some devs on our team got completely schooled. And if you guys are watching, I'm looking at you right now. You know who you are.
It's true.
They got completely schooled by some of our testers, and so they called in the big boys, you know, the big guns, and we came in, and we were...
And Brandon. I'm sorry. Brandon's the programmer who did the UI. He's a really great guy.
Somebody put up him for using ISPO on Reddit yesterday.
Oh, I saw that.
And I typed in this morning, I typed in wrecked.
But yeah, we had a good team of devs. We put together essentially an A team.
Yeah, I mean, it was me and you, and then like fill in 3.
Yeah. But
Brandon's.
Brandon.
Just kidding.
All right.
Anyways, yeah. So we fought the first dev team. Basically, those guys were playing very defensive, right? So
they
like
went all
the
defense,
players were
5D.
playing defense. They shut down everything in that lane, and the devs were just kind of running into them, crashing just over and over and over again.
Yep.
And so we tried to see if we could build a comp that would try to counter that, and we were able to do it. Like that comp worked out, but like we were able to we sat down, strategized what we wanted to do, came in, and we were able to take out that strategy, right?
But we didn't just it wasn't just a PvP match. We actually got gates down.
Yep.
We actually not only did it, but we played the map, and we got with heroes we were able to push in and just destroy them.
Yeah, that was the thing, is like they didn't play the objectives. They just played for staying in that lane, making sure that a single door breaker didn't get by.
They team deathmatched it in the set right on that point.
Yeah, and we took it right back to them. We got heroes, so we would push in, and we'd have 50% damage reduction, 50% continuity duration reduction.
We just went ham.
And so we'd recommend team fights.
Yep. And then we got through the gates, we got some points on our side, and then they had to start playing the map, but their comp wasn't built for that.
Yep.
And then we just kind of won.
Yep. All right, so we talked about different strategies. Something I mentioned earlier that we didn't really go super deep into is like the opportunity cost and how there's so many different objectives on the map, and it's really going to come down to like really the end result of the game is like the total sum of all of the players' decisions during the map, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of since there's a lot of decisions to make on this map. That's really what's going to set good teams apart from the bad teams.
Yes.
Are we going to man the trebuchet, which we should talk about?
Yeah,
in
we
a
didn't
minute.
actually get a chance to talk about that.
Do we want to man the trebuchet? Are we running that supply? Are we just going to push down the lane with the NPCs that we've got and try to go in? Guys, I just spawned 2 NPCs. Should we push now, or should we wait until we have a big push? Do we want to get 10 supply and go all at once? Like,
if we got a good push, do we go get the hero, or do we let him have it because we got a good push?
yeah, because the hero doesn't do all that much damage to the doors.
Yeah, but when he gets in the Lord Room, big
Then it's a big
deal.
thing.
But at the same time, if we don't have the Lord Room open just yet, what's the risk reward there? Do I leave my door breakers or help me get the door open to get the hero so they don't get it, or do I continue my offense? Right? Like it was interesting to see like when we would play, right, and we would try hard. You know, we'd have to like stop for a second sometimes, be like, you know, what do we do here? Do we let them have that? What are we losing for not having that, for not getting that, right?
I feel like this is such an insane information dump that we're doing.
I know.
I'm trying to like make some sense of the stuff that we're talking about, and this is just gonna be bad. You're gonna have to rewatch this video
multiple times.
So let's talk about trebuchet. I saw a question on the forums. How does the trebuchet work? Is it the same as Kylo?
Yeah.
What can I hit? What can't I hit?
Yeah.
Is anything destroyable?
Yeah. So the trebuchet serves a very specific purpose of being like the defense player. He can use that to defend against NPCs. So you're going to be able to like hop on that trebuchet, fire a couple shots off, and do increased damage to the NPC. So door breakers and archers. So if they have, let's say they spawn 5 door breakers right at the bat, but they don't send anyone to stop you, you get on the trebuchet, fire a couple shots, you clear the whole wave. So they got to come up there and stop you, right? But then if they come up there and stop you, you can jump off and then go deal with it the dirty way with get your hands dirty. So, and then it also kind of helps it if a team really wants to shut down your supply, because again, that's like the lifeblood. You need that to really progress. You can use the trebuchet to break up that mid fight. It's still like very much like Kylo, does the knockdown, does a big amount of damage, so you can use that to kind of control the map. But it doesn't really, it does destroy buildings, because I mean, this is a siege.
Yeah.
This is a big thing. So you can destroy all the buildings on the map, but you can't hit the door. It's not meant to do damage to the doors. That's for the door breakers and the NPCs.
And you can't shut down enemy barracks because the shots take so long to go through the
yeah,
air.
It's only a 2-second channel to get an NPC.
Yeah.
So even if they were like lobbying, because you can't hit that area, so if you want to kind of harass the area, you can use it with treb support. But because the projectile is so slow, if you got 2 supply, you can easily get the 2 supply off before that treb shuttle hits you again.
So really, it's super beneficial if you use the trebuchet on mid fights on supply.
Yes.
Or if you're trying to defend your lane.
Yep. But after that, there's not much more. Now, it's not like this end-all be-all super weapon on the map.
Right.
It's more just for like the map control and some defense.
Yeah, and it's gonna be just like Kylo too. there will be times where you sitting on that trebuchet is not going to make any sense.
No,
and you're
yeah.
going to be hurting your team. So it's going to come down to the players to play intelligently, make sure that they're not doing things you shouldn't be doing. You know, if your main objective is to kind of switch to another thing that you can make a mistake on. If your main objective is to take those doors down and you're summoning a lot of archers, that's not the most effective way to do it, right? Like they'll do a little bit of damage to those gates, but you really want to be putting those door breakers out and defending them, getting down the end of the lane, and you know, trying to defend those NPCs from everyone else.
Yeah, players. I mean, that's the scariest part of it is the players, right? And it should always be the players. And that's one thing we try to do as much as possible was make the NPCs have a purpose, but make sure the game mode is always about PvP.
So I've got more stuff to talk about.
Sure.
Now, while we talk about this, instead of just staring at our handsome faces, I'm going to see if I can get Mark to turn on the fly-through video again.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Now I don't feel as much pressure.
Yeah, that's good.
To stand here and look handsome.
Yeah, look how beautiful that is.
So let's see. Hugh. So we talked about the trap mechanic.
Yeah.
I heard that players cannot damage the door. Is that true?
Yeah. So one of the big things we didn't want players, and we tried this. We actually had this. We had this go on where players could damage the gates. What we saw was players would, because they saw they were doing damage, they would just sit there and attack the gates and not play the map, and it was not optimal. And it was kind of like you'd put someone there, and it would take, you know, just like in World v. World, it would take a long time for you to get through that gate. And so we decided, you know what? Why don't we make players really play the map, play the mechanics of this map, and really enforce that, and develop roles around that instead of like maybe having, you know, five players just try to bum rush a door and sit there for 5 minutes hitting a door, right? Which is not a fun, engaging experience. But maybe a more active experience is getting the supply, getting that, supporting that, fighting against other players who are trying to stop that.
All right. What's the time limit on the matches right now?
So right now we want to keep it consistent. So we're going to stick it
with
now.
existing PvP
with
modes.
Existing PvP
like,
modes.
We want to retain you jump in, you play a match, you know exactly what you're in for.
Yep.
It's not like you're going to be potentially doing a 3-hour siege or whatever.
It's about 15 minutes. So we're going to try to stick with the 15 minutes. Obviously, your guys' feedback and also may come in, and we'll listen to your guys' feedback and see what you guys think. If you guys think maybe a little more, obviously try not to go less, but then we'll definitely listen to you guys on that sense because you guys will be playing and letting us know.
Let's see if we can get just like a loop on this going, because I'm really enjoying the not
ambiance.
having to.
The
yeah, I'm really just enjoying the fly through of this map. Whoever made this is
just amazing.
Absolutely, he did an okay job.
It's funny.
All right, so we talked about the time limit, the doors. All right, will there be a separate queue for Stronghold, or will they be added to their own rotation?
So what we're going to try to do is just add it to unranked and ranked, because it is 5v5. There isn't really a necessity for a specific another queue.
Sure. So it's going to join the other PvP modes.
Yeah, so you'll be.
But it'll be in map selection.
Yeah.
So
if you want to play Conquest, you can vote on Conquest. If you want to play Stronghold, you vote on Stronghold, and you'll get that map.
All right. So how many players are we feeling like this map should support for right now?
So
in an official, like in an unranked situation.
I think we stick with 5v5. We've played as an internally 5v5, and we feel like with our combat, with everything it is, it really feels good at 5v5. Anymore, and it starts to get a little hazy. But again, that's what custom arenas are for. If you guys feel like, hey, let's try 8v8, get a custom arena.
Yeah, I mean, those are totally options.
Yeah, you can totally make it 8v8, 10v10 if you guys wanted to.
One thing I noticed that was said in chat here was, wow, guys, it seems really empty when you're running around on the map. They're like, it's really empty. Yeah. I don't know if anyone noticed, but the map was missing 9 players, so that'll definitely factor in and be a thing.
I can safely say when we played, oh my goodness, I wanted to not see people if I could get my door breakers through.
Because the map is mostly sectioned off for a good portion until you break through the doors. Like the map, the actual playable area expands, right? Yeah. The further along you get into the game, the playable area expands, and then it gets to a point that if you actually have that final gate down, it actually limits itself because you really want to be pushing down into the enemy base. You don't want to be hanging out, at the back. Unless you're running supply, you really should be pushing forward or possibly doing defense. So anyways, you guys will figure those strategies out once you actually get a chance to play the map.
But the phasing, like I think that's a good point there that you're saying. The phasing does play a huge role where like at the very beginning of the match, it's just like that middle area. Yeah. And it's really condensed, a lot of like attack, defense, intense fighting, and then it opens up a little bit. Then you got to have like your infiltrators go in there, kind of clear out some stuff, protect, and the map starts opening up little by little. And it becomes more risk reward of where you're going, in conjunction where the map's at, where the enemy team's at.
All right, what do we got going on next here? All right, are there going to be any consequences to dying? Do you lose your supply? Do you get a longer respawn time, or
that's
what
a good
happens when
one.
you dies?
Yeah, I totally forgot about this. So one of the things we decided to do to, again, reinforce player kills, there won't be any longer respawns. Respawns are going to stay consistent with the way they are now. However, if you have supply, and the enemy team can see the barrels, right? It's very visual, right? If you see someone with 1 barrel, 2 barrels, it's not invisible to the enemy team. If you kill somebody with supply, they actually drop supply on the ground that anyone can pick up. And that's the only exception to the rule where you can have more than 2 supply. So in the middle area, you can channel 2 times and get 2 supply, the 1 barrel and the 2 barrel. If I kill someone with supply and they have supply, they only, so depending if you have 1 or 2 supply or infinite supply, you only drop 1 supply at your feet. So they drop 1 supply. I can actually pick it up and have 3 supply on me. And then I can take it back and go spin it. So that way, if you have 2 and you kill somebody, you're not sitting there looking at supply going, man, I wish I could pick that up, or wish somebody, because then they respawn, someone picks it up, and then you got to fight them for that supply again.
All right. There was a question here, which is, it's really, look at the question. I'm not going to read the whole
that's
thing.
A massive question.
That's not even a question, it's like a story. Once upon a time. The general gist the gist of the post is, have we tried, so right now the lanes progress in one direction, right?
Yes.
So you've got an offensive lane and a defensive lane.
Yeah.
And if you're on the opposite team, that offensive lane is actually a defensive lane, and
Yes.
vice versa. So have we thought at all about using double lanes where you push back and forth, kind of like a tug of war? And the good news is we have.
We
and
did.
We want to talk about maybe that experience and like why we decided to go with the lane system.
Yeah, one of the big things was that when you have the 2 lanes, the lanes are built to stagnate at a specific point, right, at the middle point. And the purpose of those guys was like, it just didn't have a good purpose.
Sure.
Because the NPCs would just ram into each other and die, and then one team would push the NPCs and they'd get to a point. And if those are the things that did damage to the gate, it was like this weird thing where less players intervened.
We also we had like armies.
Yeah, it just
It got
started getting a lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
The word, I guess. Uh-oh, lights are going off.
Whoa! But yeah, it started to get to like a totally different feel of PvP that we just didn't feel we could get right.
Yeah.
Because it just started, all of a sudden you look on the map and your 5 AoE skills are hitting NPCs and not
now
enough.
those so like in a world where there was like a clash in the middle, right, when the lanes would go back and forth, those door breakers would have to serve more of a purpose.
Yes.
They wouldn't be able to have like that one specific focus where they want to go for the door, and that's really what they live for. In a world where they have to meet in the middle, now they start doing damage. They're probably attacking players.
You can pull them off their path.
Yeah,
You can
so
do all kinds of crazy
this
stuff.
really makes the NPCs have much more of a very clearly defined purpose, and they kind of have a job.
And it also really empowers the players to use them for their purpose and protect them for their purpose. And instead of just kind of like, it's just kind of happening. Because like you think like other games that have that, like those NPCs have purposes for money, to buy things or something like that. And the NPCs just didn't feel like they had a strong enough purpose for our game, for Guild Wars 2, for Guild Wars 2 PvP, that it just didn't feel good.
What else we got here? Trying to pick some out here because we are running a bit low on time. So I'm gonna pick some. Oh, okay. So there was a question on the forums about builds. So how do we feel that this is just going to be conquest meta builds? Will there be new builds come into play? And I'll give you your 2 cents, and then I might chime in.
Yeah, please.
Oops, hit my mic there. Sorry, guys.
I really think like one thing we noticed is because there's different roles and different ways for teams to accomplish the goal, right? The actual objective, which is kill the Lord. It really opened up all kinds of just things that we had not really seen before.
Sure.
Right? Like, oh my goodness, the one that was just disgusting was Thief putting stealth on everything.
Oh, the troll build?
Yeah.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, but you put stealth on a door breaker, and because he doesn't attack anything, all of a sudden he's just running down the lane. You have no idea as a defense, and all of a sudden he just appears when he starts attacking. Same thing with the hero. Both gates are open. All of a sudden this hero's stealth for 20 seconds. He gets all the way to the Lord room and fires his skill off. No one even notices, right? Like permanent stealth in Conquest is not all that great because you can't contest points unless you're super glass cannon and you're coming in trying to spike somebody, right? It didn't really serve a big purpose, but like a permanent stealth build on this map that was somewhat tanky was actually was really, really good.
Yep. I mean, you're no longer confined by the, as you're saying, like you're no longer confined by what works well when you stand on a point.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to seeing how players kind of adapt to the game mode. And
I can't wait.
Because I mean, really, we have a pretty good idea, but the players are. I mean, they're a bit better than we are.
Yeah. I mean, it was just funny.
I mean, I'm okay, but
it's just funny because listening to, I was on the forums and people are on Reddit and on the forums. People were already like, oh man, I got this really sweet build I could do to really stop archers and stop door breakers, and oh man, this trait that I never really use and this skill has a really sweet thing I can do against them to stop them for defense, and that's, I mean, I don't know. All of a sudden, people start bringing all these crazy stuff, and they start doing all this crazy stuff for team comps, and they have a really great, strong, defined purpose that they're going to try to serve on this map to try to finish it.
All right, guys, so we are running a bit long here. So if you came in late and didn't catch what was going on here, if you go back and watch the video here, you can check out the fly-through that we did, and you can also see the actual gameplay footage of Hugh running through and showing off the different objectives, and you can hear us talking about it. Yeah, that really sweet stomp where you got rejected like 3 times in a row. That was pretty awesome. MLG.
MLG swag.
Well done. Well played. So yeah, I guess I want to do 2 things. We should shout out to the people that worked on this.
Yeah,
we should do a quick shout out.
This was, I mean, this is definitely not just
It was not just you.
No, it definitely wasn't just me.
You're a bad artist. I've seen you draw. I've seen you draw.
Yeah. So, I mean, big thing, Matthew Cox, UI artist who made the UI, Brandon who made the UI, who actually programmed the UI to make it do all that sweet swag stuff. These guys put a lot of heart into that stuff.
Yep.
And we had Tirza, who helped art the map, as well as Darren.
Yep.
Darren was also there, and he kind of initially made the first few variations, and we kind of riffed on that. I mean, obviously everybody on the team that played with us, we had like people from Living World playing PvP with us. We had our team playing with us. I mean, it was just absolutely everybody. Everybody gave feedback, and I mean, this is a project that's been going for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so we're pretty happy with it. We're looking forward to seeing you guys play it. And on that note, Mr. Hugh, where can someone get their hands on this new fancy game mode?
PAX East. PAX East will be having the demo there, both the PvE side and the PvP side, where people can play Stronghold, as well as at Rezzed. So we have in NA, or I'm sorry, North America we have PAX East, and in Europe we have Rezzed.
Geography lesson brought to you by Hugh.
Thank you.
So yeah, we'll be there. We'll have some members of the team there. So if you guys want to talk to us about the design of the map and all that cool fancy stuff, and even play with us, definitely come check us out at the booth.
Yeah.
But I guess other than that, I think that's all we got for today. That's it.
That's it. We only talked.
Just that thing that we talked about.
But yeah.
Anyways, looking forward to watching the conversation on the forums and on Reddit and everywhere else.
Seeing people at PAX and.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Again, this is Ready Up, your home for everything competitive in Guild Wars 2, and I, of course, am your host. Every time. I think I've only not been here one time.
Yeah, you were sick, and
that was the day that you did it.
Yeah, I did it.
It was a
great. It was a great. The best
literally
show
a disaster.
ever.
We deleted the footage. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. We'll be on in 2 weeks from today.
Have a good one, guys. Thanks.